Do you ever feel like you're just not feeling like yourself, even though you may be working out regularly, even going to some intense workout classes? Maybe you're walking a lot and you just feel like you're just not seeing the results, not the results that you would expect to see or you want to see based on all of this activity that you're putting in. And on top of that, maybe you're feeling very frustrated because you feel like you can't seem to get control over your eating. And you know you're fully capable, but something feels like it's still not clicking. If that sounds familiar, this conversation that I had today on today's episode with my very special guest, Jen from Rock That Fitness. She is one of our Spotlight members. And this conversation will probably speak to your heart. And I know it's going to help you and possibly give you exactly what you need today. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar. And today we have a very, very special guest, one of our very own Rock That Fitness Rockstar women, Jen. Oh my gosh, Pleken? Did I say your name right? Pleken. Jen, I just call you Jen. So welcome to the show, girl.
Thank
so
you.
glad you're here. Glad to have you today. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Happy to be here.
All right. I know it's got to be a little weird coming onto the podcast. You know this isn't your thing, but again, I just really appreciate you taking the time. Today, I just want to share your story. I want to share who you are, your personal transformation story, which goes beyond the physical, but the physical is pretty mind blowing. And I'm just excited and thankful that you're here. So I'm going to turn over the microphone to you for just a moment and ask if you could just tell us a little bit about you, Jen. Like where in the world do you live? What do you do day to day?
Okay.
Your
Yeah,
age? Tell us
sure.
about you.
So I am 50 years old. I live in, I'm just going to say Buffalo, New York. I mean, I'm in a suburb, right, of Buffalo, so I'm not actually in the city.
Yeah.
But that's, regionally, that's where I am. I'm a finance manager for a regional bank. So that's like my 9 to 5, or actually 7 to 5, let's say. On most
Yeah.
days, right? So that's my job.
Reality.
I'm married. I have 2 daughters, one in high school and one in college. So they're definitely growing up pretty fast. But yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of background about me.
So you live in Buffalo or a suburb of
Yeah,
Buffalo, New York, but where are you from originally?
here,
Is it, you
born and
are?
raised. Yeah, born and raised here. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I don't hear any kind of accent. I would expect like an accent. Do you have an
I don't think I
accent?
do. I don't think I do. No,
Do people in your area see? I don't know. I'm from Texas. Do I have an accent to you?
just slight, very slight. But no, I don't think you would find that here. You might find it more like in Long Island, like more New York City area.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know. I don't know. Well, cool. Um, yeah, so very typical, most of the women that I work with are busy women working like you
Yeah.
overtime and have kids and all that kind of stuff. And in this age bracket, right, where we're dealing with the hormonal shifts, life is different. We have a lot of
Yeah.
different responsibilities, not just the career, but the family. And I don't
Yes.
know if you also not just your daughters, but also I don't know if you deal with aging parents, because a lot of us
I
do.
do. I do
See,
that
there's
as
that as
well.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, there's all this stuff that we have and on our shoulders at this age. And so this is what makes what I believe a great story, inspiration, and you truly have been such an inspiration. And so can we get into your personal health and fitness story?
Sure.
And first of all, let's just talk about the stats. Everybody
Okay.
wants to know the stats. Like
Yeah.
from what to what with your weight? How much did you lose? Did
Yeah.
you go down some sizes? Tell us a
Sure.
little bit about that.
So I have lost, it's really right about 60 pounds that I've lost and have been maintaining now for at least 6 to 7 months, I'd say, maintaining that. So, but I went down, probably was a 14, 16, and now I would say more like a 6,
Okay.
6-ish.
Significant.
Yeah, so pretty significant for sure. Yeah, I feel like I've changed a lot. My body has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so those are some stats without giving it too many numbers away, but
Sure. Yeah, you have those, the weight is a big deal. And that's similar to me. I don't know how tall you are. How tall are you?
5'6".
So we're like the same. We're both five
Yeah,
six. I lost over 60 pounds.
yeah,
So very relatable for me personally. And, that's one thing, the scale. But your progress pictures are mind blowing to me. Even when I look at mine, I don't think about it a lot. Do you think about that when you look at your pictures? Like,
I do
wow,
because like
this is significant.
it is. It really is. If I go back to the very beginning,
Yeah.
you definitely notice it. Yeah. And I was taking it's good to take pictures, I will tell you. That was like probably hard for a lot of people, but it's really a good idea because it's so great to see. And even now, month to month, it's good to see the small changes. Maybe they're not as big from the beginning of time till now, but it's nice to see the changes.
Yeah, and it is significant. And also just want to bring into the story because, we can say it until we're blue in the face. It takes time, it takes patience,
Yeah.
and it's going to take what it takes for you individually. And so your story isn't something like, boom, it happened in just a few months. Like for you, this process it took some phases, right?
It
Can
did.
you can you
Yeah.
take us through that because you've been a part of the RTF family for years now. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the reality of this.
Yeah, sure. So I joined in August of 2022, actually. And I was really just trying to get the lay of the land with everything and using the workouts. But I really hadn't fully connected or maybe gotten there on my nutrition yet. So I didn't really start, I'll say, having success for me or really getting into it until the following, like 2023, the beginning of 2023. So probably January, February of 2023 is really when I would say I started my journey. And it did take me a while to get into it. Like there's a lot of things to learn, but I'll say the concept of, just a calorie deficit and the importance of protein and fiber and all our macros. And yeah, like I said, it did take me a while, but I kept kind of creating small habits for myself and just adding on to those habits and trying to be as consistent as possible. So I started losing weight and started changing my body.
Yeah. So let's go back to because your story and you wrote to me your testimony and you were talking in this testimony where you said you felt lost and even though you were working out consistently, can you take us back to that season of feeling that way? You were doing boot camp, you were walking,
Yeah.
just like many women are doing, but you felt like it just wasn't working. You felt, disconnected from yourself, excuse me, frustrated, even in spite of the effort. Can you
Yeah.
take us back to that, what that was like for you at the time?
Yeah, so and I'll just preface it a little bit by saying, I was middle aged, if you will. So, we're talking like mid 40s, mid to late 40s. Definitely doing the boot camp classes, which I loved, and I loved being as part of that small community and going. That was 3 times a week, and they were intense workouts, very intense, like hour of full intensity, and then I would walk a lot. So I felt like, yeah, I'm being active. I'm not losing any weight, and when I say like I felt lost, it was more of a mental state I was in. I had a lot of, I had brain fog. I just felt like I couldn't focus on anything. I feel like my work wasn't going well because of it. My home life, I just wasn't myself. I didn't feel like myself anymore. So that's kind of the state I was in. So even though I might have been doing all the things, just didn't quite feel like myself. And my nutrition wasn't certainly on point. You mentioned the emotional eating. I mean, I definitely did use food to try to help myself, like to help deal with my stress, if you will.
Yeah, I do remember that. Like to me, when I think back to the beginning times of you coming to coaching calls, that's what stands out to me when I think about you. And I loved that, that's what it takes, like the courage to talk about it. You have the courage and you would bring this up. But I remember that being a struggle for you, that you at that time, and that's so
Yeah.
common to turn to food, especially when we have so many demands on our lives at this stage in our lives. And so I do remember that. That's like one of the big things I do remember about you coming to coaching calls.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about the methods a little bit, because it really does come down to the simple things. But before we do, I want to just touch on this, because we talked about this before we came on the call. We don't want to just like act like this isn't happening and this is not, not something to consider, especially at our age. HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Now, I just want to say as a caveat that that's not the only thing. And so a lot of women like to say, well, it's just my hormones. But even when we do get our hormones checked and we start doing something like HRT, we still have to do the basics to get results like you have had or like I have had. But I just want to talk to that real quick. For you, what are you doing in your HRT? I mean, do you want to share that? Because you mentioned that before we got on the call.
Yeah, sure. So no, I did start 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I started on HRT. So, I feel like I'm doing all the things. So like progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone, right? So,
Same.
so all the things. But it, for me, it did make a significant change. I was feeling very lost, and it has changed things dramatically for me. And I'll say mentally, the mental
Sure.
clarity is back, and I actually feel like myself again.
Yeah.
And I didn't for a long time. So I think that definitely helped me. But you're absolutely right. It's the habits, and it's the other things that went along with it, and the eating, and this, my sleep then became better.
Yeah.
Just there's so many components of it. So, yeah, I've been on for almost 2 years now, or about 2 years, and definitely was a big change for me,
Yeah.
for the better.
Sure. And thank you for sharing that, because it is significant. And women need to know that. I mean, it's an option, right? Not everybody's going to
Not
step
every,
into that
yeah,
option.
exactly.
But when our bodies are not producing these hormones, then it's going to change the chemistry of our brain. It's going to change the chemistry of our body. And things do change, things shift in the way that our body processes and our metabolism. And so being able to have that clarity, better sleep, like there's so many things when
Yeah,
it comes to HRT. So I don't want to ignore that piece, but I also want women to know that, like, don't just guess about that. Like, let's get our blood work done,
yeah,
find out from a professional, and side note, if you need somebody online, we've got Merrick Health. That can be in the show notes. But I just wanted to to speak to that, because even myself, like I'm on HRT, and I started over a year and a half ago. But I had results, long before I started HRT. I just knew I needed to start because of my blood work. And so I guess I just want women to know that when it comes to your clarity of mind, your sleep, at this age, we do need to be getting our blood work. So I just appreciate that.
sorry, I haven't moved, the lights went out.
You haven't moved and you've got a motion for a light.
Sorry about that.
Anyways, just something to point out. But even if you're doing your hormone replacement therapy, even if you are taking a GLP-1 to help you, even if you're doing peptide, whatever, I don't want to talk about all that because that's not what we're focusing on. Even with that, we need to have the basics in place. We need to work on our habits. And this is the most beautiful thing about you, and you not giving up, and you continuing to work on your habits and everything. So let's talk a little bit more about the method for you and what you think was missing back then when it comes to your nutrition, but you didn't realize it at the time. And we will talk about the emotional side of things, but right now let's just talk about the science behind the nutrition part for you. What did you feel like was missing for you at the time? Because you were working out and you weren't getting any results, but what else was missing?
I mean, I think I knew what to do. Like, I knew what to eat and what to do. But I think because of the stress and everything that I was going on, and I said, like, turning to food, I think I was probably not feeding myself with maybe what I should have been, and turning to, like, the junk, right? And, to kind of fulfill that need, I guess, if you will, and not focusing on what I should have been, which was honestly what I've learned now in hindsight, I can say would be to focus on the protein first. You know, so I think that was a big thing that I learned.
Okay. Yeah, not understanding protein. I mean, a lot of women don't know. Like they think they're getting enough protein, but they've never really tracked it. They never
Exactly.
really know exactly how much. And even with the calories, because we cannot have fat loss, weight loss without the calorie deficit. But you stuck to that and understanding the structure behind it. So what do you think? So were you doing that before? Were you doing any of that before RTF?
No, I mean,
Calories?
for years I did Weight Watchers, right? Like for years, off and on, the whole point system, and I would lose and be successful, but I did, but I never maintained ever. So it was
Okay.
always join, lose weight, leave, join.
Look at
You know
you.
what I mean? So there was a pattern of that for years, and actually. Just prior to COVID, I was actually in a decent place, and then during COVID, had put on more weight. So, it's all just the story. So it's not like I didn't know what to do and what to eat. I had even worked with a holistic nutritionalist that helped me really understand clean eating. What I'll say is eating real whole foods and the importance of it, and not just for it's good for you, right? But it truly like how it made me feel when I ate. So,
Yeah.
and for like eating for health, like truly eating the right foods for health and what you need and what you're lacking for nutrients,
Yeah.
etc. So
Right.
that did help me a lot, but I still was having trouble just getting control of quantities and just not having, the need or want to try to eat a lot at once, I'll say. So it was just kind of getting that all put together, I guess, that I had to learn.
So what was the shift for you? What made the change when it came to your personal nutrition structure for yourself individually? Like was it hard? Was it like,
It,
tell
it
us about that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it definitely was. I mean, I think a lot of it was I was overeating because I was feeling so stressed and having all these cognitive issues. So I think that's really what was making it kind of be a vicious cycle. And then I would get upset because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be
Yeah.
doing. But ultimately, I started wanting to stick with a calorie deficit. And I found that was very challenging for me. So I kind of switched everything in my tracking and kind of, certainly tracking food. But what I did is I really I stopped focusing on the calories and focused on my protein. And if I could hit a protein goal, and it took a while to understand not just hitting that goal, but like what that meant. It meant I had to eat earlier in the day, and it meant
Yeah.
I needed to eat protein with every meal and how many grams. So it took me a while, but that helped me get into the calorie deficit.
Ah, yes.
So I kind of did it a little bit reversed. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
might start with calories first.
Sure, sure.
I just simply couldn't, I couldn't do that. That did not work for me. So once I plugged in the protein and got that, I found that when I'm eating and meeting my protein goals, I'm not looking to eat at the end of the day. I
Yeah.
actually am satisfied enough that I didn't need that, and it fell in with my calories just naturally fell into place, I guess is what I would say. So that's what
Yeah,
I
that
learned
makes
for
total sense.
me.
Yeah. No, and that makes total sense. And this is how come, we have the RTF method, but also understanding what works for you is so important. And that's why, when we get on coaching calls, we talk about these kind of things, and let's take some action in an area where you feel that you can actually implement and feel confident in and sustain that. So you're building that habit. And obviously you found what part of the method you needed to focus on for you. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And why not? Why not give that a shot? And I'm just speaking to any listener who has been feeling frustrated because they're not hitting their calories. This is usually what's going on because they're not able to focus. They're not getting enough protein. So now they're having cravings. And at the end of the day, they've eaten a lot of calories, not enough protein, and they're over their calories. And so that's an awesome, awesome thing. So I appreciate you sharing that. So great. Let's talk a little bit now about this emotional eating and, how did you, let's talk about that. That's frustrating. And what happened? What was the change for you? Do you know like where things started to shift for you and how you started to realize you were using food in a way that was not serving you? And then how did you make that shift?
I'm trying to think back to the time. I mean, I do personally attribute a lot of it to the HRT, quite honestly, because I think my mental state was not great. So I knew what I was doing wasn't good, and I wanted to stop it. I just couldn't get there. And I do think that for me personally, helped change things and really helped shift. I felt like myself again. So following what I needed to do was that much easier because of it. So for me, I think that was a big part of the shift, quite honestly.
And so now today, do you still from time to time have that come up, an emotional like like a craving that comes from an emotion?
I mean, maybe, but it's not the same. Like if I'm feeling it, if I'm feeling like I want something, then I'll have some ice cream, or like, it's just not the way it was before. So I really try to focus on what I need to get in a day, and let's see what's left.
Yeah. But that sounds like it's been like it took you, it looks like
Very
it
big
was a
shift.
part of your transformation was not just physical, but this emotional side of things,
Yeah.
because you've been now maintaining for months. And do you have a fear of gaining it back?
Oh, I think that fear will always be there. Yes.
You do
Yes.
think that?
I do. Yeah,
Well,
I
girl,
do.
we're going to have a little talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to change that one, but I'm willing to hear what you have to say. But yeah, I do have a fear. I don't know. I don't know that would ever go away, but I don't feel obsessive about it at all. Like for the first time, I have been able to do this and maintain. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, if I keep doing what I'm doing, everything should be fine.
There you go. So if you keep doing what you're doing, which right now we've been talking about you are, I don't know where you're at now, but the last time that we had a discussion, you were doing some reversing out of calorie deficit and getting, getting some momentum in a maintenance phase, because you're just moving forward and,
Yeah.
getting on with life. And I think that what you just said is key. So maybe I need to rephrase it. Like
Yeah.
the fear, it could be a healthy fear, right? Not a fear necessarily that, oh my God, I could gain this back. And then you're focusing on that and then it happens, right? Because that can happen.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're just saying, I just have a healthy fear knowing it's possible if I don't continue doing what I know to do.
Yes. I think that's very fair. Yes.
Okay.
Like I realize that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I should
Sure.
be fine. Right. So
That's right.
it's only if I, were to ever stop. The habits and the consistency is key. There's no doubt.
There. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was like, no,
Yeah,
I think
right.
you know.
Yeah.
So, well, that's good. So, it's really, that to me, I think is key, because we can have all these, like do these diets and but people go, well, that works. I was the same way. It was like, but then there came a point where it's like, but does it really work if you have to keep doing that? But what we do really is a method where it's like understanding what your body needs individually with your calories and your macros and your activity level, and really dialing in things for yourself so that right, Jen, that you're never going to go back to a diet program, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just going to keep. Yeah. Right. That's exactly right. I don't
Is
consider
it
this a diet. This is my lifestyle.
right? That to me is like the freedom, freedom. Like you said, you want ice cream, have your ice cream, girl.
Yeah.
Eat it too. And so anyway, it sounds like this is exactly what I want listeners to hear, that you never need a diet again when you take the time to just not quit on yourself and keep working on this method where you're learning to dial in your own nutrition with the calories, the protein, and building muscle and getting stronger in the gym and building your body. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? The changes you've seen in your body when it comes to your strength training
Sure.
and implementing RTF strength training.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the inches are probably obvious. You know what I mean? Not obvious because not everybody could see me before, but I mean obvious if I've lost 60 pounds. Clearly, I've lost a lot
Yes,
of
clearly.
inches. So yeah, so definitely that and going down sizes. But what's really cool is being able to see muscles. Like, everybody has muscle, but like it's nice to be able to see them. So I feel like I'm finally seeing muscle, and I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like I am in that like recomp mode, and you talked about like coming out of a calorie deficit right into maintenance. So I want to keep fine tuning that, right? To if there's additional fat to lose, not necessarily weight, but if there's additional fat to lose, so muscles can pop out more.
Right.
So just trying to up my intensity in my workouts. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is so many women end up in this vicious cycle of constantly staying in fat loss. They think they're just always going to be going to fat loss, and they stay in one like calorie deficit, and they think they need to stay there, which isn't serving our metabolism. We want to maintain and I'm just saying this kind of like a little educational piece here for our listeners. We don't want our bodies to get into an adaptation of a low calorie. So we don't want to stay in a fat loss phase. We do want to increase calories to maintain that responsiveness of our metabolism, getting the calories back up, which sometimes will take taking breaks. We call them diet breaks, but it's basically taking a break from a calorie deficit, moving into maintenance, and then coming back into. So like, for example, Jen, I don't know if you know this, I was doing a cut in February and half of March. I just came out of my little cut. I could have kept going, but I'm pretty lean. So I want to maintain my body's metabolic responsiveness. So I got out of it. I think, sure, I could have kept going. I wasn't losing momentum, mentally. I could totally, but I wanted to be careful. And so this is kind of a thing for you where you're at. Not to say you can't go do a cut again in the future, but right now this is about bringing our metabolism to full optimization, getting your energy up, your stamina, even your mental state all back into that place to where maybe in another couple of months, as you have been continuing and feeling confident in your maintenance, then you might choose to go back into a calorie deficit for a short period of time, right? Hop in and out. And that's how we start seeing that body composition, those nice changes to our body. So I'm just excited for you. I feel like I just kind of very strongly relate to you because you've got a very similar physical situation with, your body composition and stuff. So anyway, I want to talk about some, I don't know, how you are feeling these days about simple things, going on a hot date, dressing your body, undressing your body, going in your closet, putting what you want on, shopping. Tell us, how has that changed for you?
Oh, it's changed a lot. I mean, obviously just the sizes, but no, I don't know what to say. Like, it's good. I mean, it's all very good. I never have been a person that has loved to shop, but I definitely like it so much more now.
Yes,
I mean, it's night and day. And it's also nice to go from one season to the next in your closet and like not need a different size. Because in the past, that has never been. I felt like I always had to buy new clothes for every season. Like, it just felt like it was always, I kept 3 sizes in my closet at all times because I never knew if I was going to be up or down. And so that has all changed, which is great.
Did you clear out your closet of everything that doesn't fit you anymore?
Just about everything. Yeah.
Great. Outstanding. Yeah. Good. A lot of women are afraid to do that.
Yeah, so, I didn't for the longest time, but fairly recently I had moved it from my closet into totes. And then the totes out the door now. So
good.
Yeah,
See?
Everything is out of the house. So yeah.
That right there's a physical manifestation. Like, you just did something because you believe that's not going to be needed anymore.
That's right.
Right there. That's awesome. I love that. And how does it feel these days? Do you notice a difference about how you're showing up in social settings? Do you notice something different in your confidence level now with your, losing the weight and all that?
I think so. I mean, I definitely feel more confident. I don't know that I come across that way.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Outwardly, but I think inwardly, I absolutely feel more confident. There's no doubt. And I feel healthier. A lot of this, and we didn't really talk about this, but, like my goal was always to lose weight, but as I started to get a little bit older, I really wanted to focus on my health. And so
Yeah,
and that's maybe what's really changed so much is I feel so much healthier
no
too.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it change you when you like, do you notice a difference? Like I said, I know you're like, well, I don't think anybody else notices, but you notice on the inside. I'm curious because sometimes I think about this for myself, the difference when you are showing up, with your at work or with the people that you work with, or I know you don't see anybody right now today, but even just, don't you think it's changed your confidence level
Yeah, it
in at
probably, I mean,
work?
yeah, it probably has, but I can't I can't put my finger on it if that makes sense. I mean, I worked remote
Yeah,
for 9 years. I mean, I might have had to been on, and I didn't have to do a lot of on camera. So it's hard to say, like in that regard. I think I was always comfortable speaking up at work when I needed to. So I don't know that I would say it. It's hard to say. I don't know that I would say that so
sure.
much.
How about you just came from vacation? What was different? Let's just pretend that you were 60 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
What would have been the difference between the vacation you just came home from
Oh
to how
gosh, it
you
would
were
have been a
back
lot
then?
different. Yeah.
Talk about it. Tell me
Well, I
about it.
mean, I just think like I don't like I like to put on a bathing suit now. I mean, that wouldn't have been fun before, or maybe it would have been, but I wouldn't have felt as confident, right? So, so that's for sure something, yeah. And just like moving around, like I was, had like 18,000 steps a day, like that wouldn't have been
Dang.
happening before. So, I'm definitely so much more active, even though I thought I was active before, a lot more active. So just
Yeah.
a couple things, but yeah.
No, I think too, and I'll speak to this myself. The process is not fast, it's slow, and we actually, not just the physical process but also the mental part of it, where those changes are happening, where we start to have confidence and competency. We have competency in what we're doing with our nutrition and our fitness, and then we start having confidence in it, but we don't notice it's happening because it's just happening. And then when you start to reflect on it, you're like, yeah, that is, because I think back to something as simple as, because I'm a performer and I sing in my band. Well, I remember back in the day when I hadn't lost weight, night and day on the stage for me, a
Yeah.
literal on the stage. I mean, I am jumping around, dancing and singing with a microphone, going off the stage out into the audience. I never did that before. Like 60 pounds heavier, I'm right behind the back. I'm behind the microphone, behind my guitar. Hello. That's all I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's the night and day that I'm kind of like, I bet you're noticing things in your life now. If you think about it, there's probably some of those night and day things now.
yeah, yeah. There probably is. I mean, nothing's coming to mind, but I'm sure there
Well,
has to be. I would
shopping,
agree. Yeah.
shopping. What's different when you're shopping?
Well, I mean, the stores I can shop in for one thing is fun. Yeah, and it's just nice. I mean, I've got daughters, so it's nice to be able to
Oh,
go into their
yeah.
closets too. They don't like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but that part is really nice.
That's really fun. Can you share a little bit about that? What do your daughters think? How's that been?
Oh, it's been good. I mean, I've always been like very aware of I don't want to be I certainly don't want to be too showy. I want them to recognize a healthy mom and somebody who likes to work out and not so much focus on, so like they know I focus on protein, but I try not to just add, I don't want to bring too much attention to it just with girls. I just don't want to do that.
Sure.
So but they are very like aware that I have lost weight, and they'll make little comments and stuff like that, like in a fun, like we're a very teasing family, so in a good way. But I'll always try to be like, can I wear this? Can I wear this today? Or so.
I know you are just naturally so humble, Jen. I was reaching out to get some regular pictures. I'm like, well, we got your progress pictures. I want to share and brag about your transformation. Just give me a normal everyday picture. And you're like, Anna, I just looked through my phone and I don't have any pictures of myself.
And I made my daughter take a picture of me to give to you. I'm like, here, can you take a picture of me really
Aw,
quick? And she does my progress pictures for me too every month. I'm
aw,
like, honey, do you have time to do my progress pictures?
that's so
So
sweet.
yeah, so my one that's home, so she's always doing that for me. She's like, sure, mom, come on, let's do them now. So
Let's
she's
take some
good.
more pictures, Jen.
Yeah,
That's your next phase.
I guess. Yeah,
Jen with fashion.
really have a fashion flair, so I'm not sure about that. But
Well, I thought that. It took me a while. I'm just saying now I'm really having fun with the fashion stuff. You
okay.
kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like that too. I was like that. I'm like, I don't really have fashion. I was never really into fashion, but in the past few years, I've gotten into like, well, who is this person in this body and how do we dress her?
Yeah. I think I don't go anywhere. I think that's my problem. Is I don't go anywhere
That's true.
exciting. So like I like to stay on trend for sure with clothes, but just everyday clothes. But I don't really go anywhere exciting that I need to like dress up for or something like that.
How about we just create some place you need to go?
That's what I need to do.
You can create that. Date night is a
Yeah.
perfect example. Like, I think that for me, I upgraded how I dressed for date night. It was like, you know what? It's date night. I will dress as nicely as I want to. And for me, that was like, I may not be going to something fancy or a networking event or party, but I'm going to my hot date. I'm going to show up. You know that song, that Selena Gomez song, "I'll be good for you, good for you. I'm gonna look good for you." That's what I always think of, like when I'm getting
Yeah.
dressed for my husband,
Yep.
like
No,
that.
absolutely. That's
So
true. Yep.
inspiring you to do that. Looking forward to the pictures. Just share
Yeah,
with us inside the group.
I
Anna,
will.
Anna challenged me.
Yeah, I will do it.
Maybe that could be a monthly challenge to dress up. That would be great. Ooh, giving me an idea. That's a good idea. So you said in your testimony that you feel more in control now. What does that actually look like in your day-to-day life? Like in your who you are, how you show up today, in your lifestyle. What does that look like when you say you feel more in control?
What does that look like? That's a tough one. I mean, outside of just routine, it's hard, and I'm trying to think like beyond routine. But to me, that is a part of it. I am a routine person, anyways, and I
Good.
like
Yeah.
that. So I think that having established my habits and just knowing what my day looks like, um, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like I know this is not a great answer, but I'm not sure what else to say. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I don't know how to answer
You don't
that
have to
one.
apologize. It's okay. I think probably just going over everything that we have speaks for itself. You're not feeling over restricted.
No,
You're feeling free, right?
I do feel free. Yeah, I do feel free. Other
Yeah.
than trying to get my steps in every day.
Yeah. I guess the idea is that if I think about, because this is going to be the last thing that I want to touch on as we wrap up,
Yeah.
is if we imagine, Jen back in, I don't know, 2022, or someone out there listening to this podcast who was maybe the past version of like you, the feeling of not being in control, the difference there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your day to day today is different in your mindset when it comes to feeling in control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because back then, like you were efforting, like kind of like a frantic efforting of getting all these intense boot camp workouts and walking a lot and that kind of mentality because you're trying to gain control. But now it sounds like you have more like a peaceful,
Yes.
free,
Yeah.
calm control.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that I would tell anybody to listen to their body, listen to their gut instincts too. If something doesn't feel right or feels off, to reach out to people, or and like you had mentioned, if it means getting blood work, if something else is really up, you know what I mean. But I would say I mean, when I say listen to your body, I really mean it. Like if you've got a goal, like don't give up on it. Try to start small.
Yes.
Start small. That's all I did. I mean, it started with slow down your eating. Like that was one of my goals in the beginning. Like slow down and be mindful when you're eating. Like those were the small things that I did that just
Yeah.
now are just part of a routine. Drink more water, small things. Do what you can control. keep doing those things and add on to them. Once you've got that, keep adding on, habit stack, you know. It'll become part of your normal routine, which is
Yeah.
what has happened to me.
And what about what would you say? Basically, my question was for the woman that's listening and feels exactly like you used to, working hard, frustrated, and maybe even blaming herself, because that is a big deal too. What do you want her to know?
I would want her to know that not to give up, and you can get back to you can get back to yourself. You absolutely
Yes.
can. And that's why I'm saying, like, don't give up. And when I say listen to your gut, that's kind of what I mean. Like, if something feels off, talk to a doctor. If you are, if it's a matter of, whether it's nutrition, I mean, there's so many different components to it. But I would say just listen to your gut and do not give up on yourself. That's probably the biggest thing I can say.
Yeah. And you are such a wonderful example of this, Jen. And I just can't thank you enough for setting that example and being an inspiration inside of our community of Rock That Fitness women. You represent all of us, and it's beautiful. And I'm just so thankful for you sharing your story
Thank
today.
you for letting me share it.
Yes. Anything else you want to add before we close?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I appreciate you having me on. It was so nice.
Would you encourage a listener to join Rock That Fitness? And
I
if they were
would.
afraid to join, like, what would you tell her? Like, they're
Yeah, I
thinking,
would.
this sounds like I should do this, but I'm scared. What would you say to
Yeah,
her?
I would say do not be scared because there's such a great community of women. The information and the materials are wonderful. You will learn a lot, and you will become your best self if you do it. So,
I'm
I
not
would.
paying her to say this.
Yeah, no, not at all. I would say do not, like, don't be afraid to do it because you can be as quiet in the group or as loud in the group as you want. So, like if somebody's fearful of that, like, it's there for you, and we have weekly coaching calls, and you can use that as your own tool. So, yeah, I would definitely highly encourage anybody.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jen. Thanks for
Yeah,
taking
thank you.
time out of your busy schedule today. I appreciate you so much. And
Yeah,
thanks for
thank you.
sharing and being such an inspiration. Love you. Rock on. Hold up, girl. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. Wasn't that freaking amazing? I just wanted to remind you two things. If you feel that it's time and you're ready to do this for yourself, to really tackle your fat loss goals and never need another diet again, I want to encourage you to check out the show notes and just join us. There's the link. Come on in to Rock That Fitness. Everyone's here to welcome you with open arms, and you can get started right away. We start out with a Kickstart program, self-paced, and here is the course. And come on in, girl. And then secondly, if you haven't and you want to join us for the next fat loss masterclass that I'm hosting on April the 8th, and you want to get in here and grab your seat for this free, amazing webinar, then grab the link inside the show notes and get your seat for free. I'm going to be going over the 3 secrets to unlocking sustainable fat loss, like for good. So grab your seat. And I'm going to be excited to see you in that webinar. All right, girl, thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you have an amazing day. Remember, self-care, self-love all day, every day, in every way. Do I have your word? Good. Let's rock.